Hello, students. We've all learned about the different parts of democracy, haven't we? Things like elections, citizens' rights, and the rule of law. But today, we're going to build on what you already know and put all of those pieces together to see the complete picture. You see, you have studied the features of democracy, which is great. But understanding how they all connect and form a complete, working system, well, that is the key to really mastering this topic. It's time to see how the whole machine works. So here's our plan for this explainer. First, we'll go from just knowing the features to seeing the whole system. Then we'll break down the final definition from your textbook. After that, we'll look at how democracy actually works in practice, understand the really important rules that limit its power, and finally, we'll discuss why this entire view matters so much for you. All right, let's get into our first section. Here, we're going to shift our thinking. We're moving away from just a simple list of parts, and we're going to start looking at the complete picture of democracy as a system. Let's think of it this way. Knowing the features of democracy is like knowing the ingredients for a cake. You know, you need flour, sugar, eggs, but that's just the first step, right? Understanding the system is like learning the recipe, how you mix those ingredients together, in what order, to actually bake the cake. Now, what's really interesting is how those features you already know, those ingredients, actually build the complete official definition of democracy. So let's break it down. Okay, so this is the summary definition right from your textbook. I know it looks a little long, but please don't worry. You will see that it's actually just a summary of the four main features that you already know. Let's look at it line by line. So, the first part of the definition says, rulers elected by the people take all the major decisions. This should sound very familiar to you. It directly matches the first feature we studied, that final decision-making power must be with those leaders that you elect. Now, for the second part, it says that elections must offer a choice and a fair opportunity to the people to change the current rulers. This perfectly matches our second feature, doesn't it? It means that elections have to be a real competition, a real choice, not just a formality. Let's look at the third part. This choice and opportunity is available to all the people on an equal basis. This is simply the principle of universal adult franchise. Our third feature, one person, one vote, one value. It's about equality. And finally, the fourth part of the definition says that a government must be, quote, limited by basic rules of the Constitution and citizens' rights. And this is exactly what our fourth feature is all about, the rule of law and respect for the rights of all citizens. So you see, that big definition is just these four features all put together. Okay, so let's move on and see how this definition actually works in the real world. A very common mistake is to think of democracy as something that only happens on voting day. But it's so much more than that. This is a very crucial point, students. Democracy is not just about the moment you cast your vote. It is an ongoing, continuous cycle of actions and consequences that just keeps repeating itself. This here illustrates that cycle brilliantly. It starts with us, the citizens. We participate, we discuss, we form opinions. Then, based on that, rulers are elected. Their work doesn't stop there. They have to govern, and they are accountable to us. Then, we citizens evaluate their performance, and that evaluation influences how we vote in the next election, and the cycle begins all over again. So, imagine a party wins the election. Does that mean it can do whatever it wants? Absolutely not. And this is a very, very important point to understand about democracy.
Let's use a simple analogy. Think about your school's cricket team. Even if they are winning, they still have to follow the rules of the game, right? It's the same for a government. Even after winning an election, it must follow the rules of the country.
So, what are these rules? Well, they are the foundation of our democracy. We're talking about the Constitution, the basic rights that are given to all citizens, the law of the land, and very importantly, an independent judiciary to protect all of this. This corrects a very common misunderstanding. Majority rule does not mean the government is above the law. It does not mean it can ignore the rights of minorities or the opposition. Winning an election is a huge responsibility to govern within the rules. So why have we spent all this time connecting these ideas? It's because this complete picture, this whole system, is a powerful tool for you as a student. You know, when you understand democracy as this limited, cyclical system, you can move beyond simple definitions. It helps you to do real analysis of any democracy in the world. With this understanding, you can do so much more. You can write much better, more structured answers in your exams. You can properly evaluate if a country is truly democratic or not. You can understand news about politics more clearly, and you can think critically about how all governments function. So, I will leave you with this thought. This framework, this toolkit we've discussed, it isn't just for exams. It is for you, as a citizen, to use throughout your life. So now that you have it, how would you use it? Thank you.